Hey.
We're back. Episode 5 of the Boss Talk podcast, baby.
We did.
Yes. Man, consistency, like I always say, is the key to your success, baby. And we've been consistent with this podcast. Every Tuesday, you tune in. Make sure you subscribe, okay? I don't know how you're listening to this now, but make sure you subscribe to the Boss Talk podcast. Through Apple, you can go to the Boss Talk, all one word, Boss Talk, and download it. Also, if you have an Android device or Google device, download Podcast Go and download the Boss Talk podcast, man. So, before we get started, we would like to thank all of our sponsors. We have Music City Cleaners, TWC Enterprises, New IMC, Advanced Financial, JeffMagruder.com, Imperial Cleaning Systems, Music City Photo Booth. Am I missing anything?
No,
Am I missing anybody?
Good, huh?
Yes, so thank you all. Thank the sponsors, man. This is the time of Thanksgiving.
Thanks to one of our great sponsors, New IMC.
Shout out to New IMC.
Yeah, shout out to John.
I've been successful in launching my website, jeffmcruder.com. The Facebook page is now up and running as of today. The last 2 weeks I've done 2 blogs on. Since Jay-Z was in town, I was able to drop some blogs on the story of OJ, where I'm taking basically verse by verse and doing some financial breakdowns. The one I dropped this week was on appreciation and depreciation. Jay-Z discusses how he spent money in his early 20s the wrong way, and he wished he could have made some real estate purchases. So I break that down mathematically on the blog, which the blog is called What's the Mathematics?
What's the mathematics?
That's it.
Mathematics. What's the mathematics?
That's it. Yeah, so tune in every week. Our weekly blog on What's the Mathematics.
Every Monday, he drops a blog. Every Monday.
It's like the economics behind it and what the benefits are to give, and I think that's something that's not taught in the black family, because it's the results of it typically are just, this is going out the door, it's to help someone else, but what impact does it have to my family or me personally? And I think that's something that could actually benefit us if we're giving to this organization, if it's education, and we give a certain amount of money and it's in our neighborhood and we're helping this charter school get growing, then our neighborhood will improve. And I think the depth of the giving is not taught. I think the spirit of it is, but the actual depth and what goes behind it is really not passed down and taught. So people will feel free to do more. If you had, there's only a few organizations that outside of the church, NAACP, and then you had the Black Panther Party, which is a PAC that was formed for politics. But then you would have just a few that everyone would just go towards, and then typically the leadership in those organizations kind of dictated how those funds, and if it didn't go well, then you would have people with hurt feelings, and so people would withdraw. And so I think a lot of the negative stuff that we're definitely avoiding on the church side today has actually contracted from people's spirit of giving in our community as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Hannah, what'd you just say? What was that last part you just said?
Oh, no, Lord Jesus.
No. I just want to know, what is that last part you just said?
I said the negative piece or outcomes of giving I believe has contracted people from giving more because of some things, because they've been hurt. It's not that expensive. I mean, even if you think about the statistics, and I can't pull up my calculator right now to break this down, but if you just do the calculation, if you say that the average black family makes $43,000 and everyone gives 10% a year, that's $4,000 a family times 83. That's a decent budget for a small church.
Where a lot of the disposable income is going right now.
Can I share?
Getting a bag or something to put on.
Can I share real quick
Instagram.
on nonprofit board development and how that actually affects what you all are seeing? So if you take a board that's established by someone from 413 Strong, which has a lot of construction companies that support it. Most of the construction companies are white owned in the city. So if you put that board together, then that board is going to help recruit people for the dinner.
So your board needs to.
So the board needs to be more diverse, and so the board is only going to reach out to the 10 people at their table that look like them, most likely, that can come and give a check. And so it's really not a reflection of necessarily the black community not participating. They're not even in the inner circle to be at most of these. So I'm on the board for KIP. It's the same way, and so there's 4 of us on the where there's 2 African Americans on the board. We have some on committees, but we struggle with getting people to our breakfast every year. Now we're up to maybe 5 or 6 tables, but it's our network.
Yeah.
You know, LaShawn's been there. I've invited y'all. So it's that network around the board that makes it look like that around the room. It's not us.
That makes sense.
BOSSTALK gives you perspective.
It's not
You
us.
see how this works?
That's
You just
dope.
gain
Okay.
more perspective.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That made sense, man.
That made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That is a wealth changing situation.
Did you see that, man?
The recession, it was a wealth trade. I mean that's crazy. I mean think about that.
It was. And we're recovering unevenly as well.
Because guess what? That wealth that you just mentioned that they got back, guess where they're coming in to buy, taking that equity and buying
All of our property.
all of the property. So it's a
We watched it
vicious
happen in Nashville. though.
cycle.
Yes.
What I would like to see is Robert's going into the venture of starting a nonprofit is to see your organization come alongside of a larger organization that doesn't have the reach or doesn't have the insight to go in and really get grassroots. And you need to ask for a check. Because they have the capacity, they're pulling in federal dollars, they're getting corporate money to do some of these programs, but they don't have the staff or they don't have the necessary tools to actually make the impact. They don't have the role models working for them. And so,
The impact.
yeah, and so I think, so the impact, yeah, it's a great play on that. I think that's the opportunity for you in growing yours, is trying to get these larger organizations to get those dollars to you, so you will be the one that can go out and actually make it happen for them.
They
So
got-
for me, there's several, but you know, the kind of the top ones are KIP, of course, which is just amazing, which is the charter school here in Nashville, which is doing great things for Black and brown kids that before this they would not be going to college because Metro was not putting the resources behind them to do so, and so now KIP is turning kids to college in my old neighborhood in North and East Nashville. The second thing I'm involved in, I'm on the board for NPR, which you would think that is a nonprofit, which is the Nashville Public Radio, which I think from a minority standpoint, we've never had a voice on there, and so I was thankful to be a part of what they're doing in the community. And one of the things that I'm proud of, that they're actually covering the Casey Holmes potential gentrification. I mean, there's an on-site reporter that's in Casey Holmes every day. She's from Chicago. Her name is Mary Benight, and she is getting the people's perspective on what's happening. There's several of that I support. Hustle Strong Foundation, Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts of America. I'm an Eagle Scout. So all these people are hitting me up every year for checks, little checks here, and it adds up. But at the end of the day, it's the tax deduction, and it's also where I serve. And so as it relates to how we do with church, to your point, Robert, that is so right. Like, it's where you serve. It doesn't have to be the church. You have to be serving, and you have to do it with a cheerful heart. And it doesn't have to be $1 million. So
There it is.
that's it. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it is.